Yo, welcome. I hope that there is some Skynyrd fans out there. I hope so, because Skynyrd is a big part of my life. Not just was, is. And I never knew Ronnie Van Zant. But his birthday's coming up on the 15th of January. He was born in 1948 in Jacksonville, Florida. I never knew him, but the music he made, it was my only friend. To me, Ronnie Van Zant was like a friend, an uncle, even a father or a brother. And I'm gonna make a little video for y'all here on my channel and showcase some of the Skynyrd albums that I have, and show you some of the Skynyrd stuff that I've had over the years. This is an original shirt, Skynyrd shirt. Not sure when it came out. I believe it was in 1977. This is my tribute video to Lynyrd Skynyrd and to Ronnie Van Zant. I don't just have that shirt. It's old and it's worn. Was once black. I'm gonna hang on to that forever. Got a couple things here I'm gonna show y'all. Try to make me a video and showcase the band's music and the band's music. Got gold and platinum. This one was released after the plane crash that took his life. Took the life of Steve and Cassie Gaines, brother and sister, Dean Kilpatrick, and the two pilots. And since October 20th of '77, several members have passed. Gary Roston was the latest. I believe Artemis Pyle is still the only member of the band that's still alive. These are some compilation albums that came out after the crash. I noticed it with this album that the hand, I always would like to know why the hand is on backwards on the gun. It's had some different tracks on it. It was unreleased. I'm a Country Boy was on the Nothing Fancy record, I believe. Working for the MCA. And this is just like some more compilation of hits. This is what this one was, gold and platinum. It had all their hits on there after the crash. This little record here, I actually got it in England when I had a friend of mine from England. She got this for me at a yard sale, I believe, estate sale. It's a single of it has Freebird on the A side and Sweet Home Alabama and Double Trouble on the other. It's a little single, a little small record. It's not an LP, it's just a small record. This one is another compilation record, and they're getting old, and I keep them in these covers. This coming another compilation record that has Sweet Home Alabama and Double Trouble and Freebird on it. It's also got the same album art. Not sure if that's was a bootleg record or what, but I picked it up. I bought all these secondhand. These are all originals from the '70s. Every one of them is an original record. This is the one after the plane crash when Roston Collins this is a Roston Collins band record here. So Yeah, this is when the band reformed. This is Roston Collins, Gary Roston's band with his wife Dale Krantz and Alan Collins. Alan Collins and Gary Roston did end up splitting up after that, and Alan Collins had his own band for a while. I believe they recorded one record. I don't have that one. Getting more into the Skynyrd stuff here. And if you flip over on the back of this one, this is Give Me Back My Bullets. And if you flip over on the back of this one, you'll look here. Artemis Powell wrote CDB, Charlie Daniels Band, in the dirt there. And it's got that logo appears on here too. Because Skynyrd got started, honestly, on a baseball field when Ronnie Van Zant hit a foul ball and hit, I believe it was Bob Burns in the head and knocked him out. And then they all just kind of got together. Hey, you play guitar, you play drums, I sing, let's start a band. And it was named Lynyrd Skynyrd after their gym coach they kept getting in trouble for having long hair, and he would send them to the office, and they thought one night as a joke they would name their band Lynyrd Skynyrd. And then they said they changed I heard in one of the biographies I read in there, it said they changed the Y's, changed all the letters to Y's to protect the guilty. And but as this one came out in I believe it came out in 75. That's Ronnie Van Zant, Alan Collins, Gary Roston, Artemis Powell, Leon Wilkerson, Billy Powell. This was the album they did. A lot of people don't like. This is the one that this is the first one Tom Dowd produced. And this came out right after, this one came out right after, Ed had left. Ed King wasn't in the band. They only had 2 guitarists on this one. And this is one of my favorite records, personally. It doesn't have really any hits on it, but it's one of the. I really recommend this record. This is one of my favorites. This was never really a high selling album. I actually bought this record from a friend one time. Bought it on CD and gave it to her for her birthday, even though she wasn't a Skynyrd fan, because this is one of my favorite records. And that's it. Give Me Back My Bullets. Came out in 75. I believe that was right. Came out around 75. We can check on the back. It says it right here. Yep, 1976. 1976. These are not repop records. These are all the original records from the 70s. They're old. This one here, dun dun dun, Second Helping. This was their second record. It was released in 74, I do believe. Yep, 1974. And this one had the monster hit on it. The only really hit they ever really had, Sweet Home Alabama, Second Helping. I always dug the album art. Kind of looked like a church stained glass. And Ed King is in the band here. Ronnie Van Zant. Bob Burns. He was the original drummer. Billy Powell. Leon Wilkerson. Alan Collins. Gary Roston. Music's a big part of my life. I'm kind of showing these albums out of order, but, I still got them. Who can forget their debut record in 1973? Again, that's Leon, Billy, Ronnie, Gary, Bob, Alan, and Ed. Ed came over from the Strawberry Alarm Clock, the band he was in before Lynyrd Skynyrd. He actually came to Lynyrd Skynyrd when Leon left for a little while and was the bass player. When Leon come back, he became the third guitarist. 1973. Got all their hits on there, man. All the ones you hear on the radio. Tuesday's Gone, Give Me 3 Steps, Simple Man, Things Going On, Mississippi Kid, Poison Whiskey, Freebird, I Ain't the One. Produced by Al Cooper for the Sounds of the South record label through MCA. And so this is kind of my tribute to Ronnie Van Zant, to Lynyrd Skynyrd, because his birthday would have been on the 15th, and he was killed when he was 29 in the plane crash. This was taken out in their hell house. This is one that came out in getting old, y'all can't hardly see anymore. This one also, this came out in 75. This is nothing fancy. The only song that was really on this one was that it really blew up the charts was Saturday Night Special. Really didn't have a lot of hits on this album. And Ronnie Van Zant's credits in this is lead vocals, lyrics, and lots more. Ed King played the Fender Stratocaster and the Gibson SG. Alan Collins, the Gibson Firebird and Trout voice. Gary Roston, Gibson Les Paul. Leon Wilkerson, Fender bass. Billy Powell, keyboards. Artemis Powell, drums, percussion, and determination. That's what it says on there. And the famous album cover on the back with Billy Powell flipping the bird, because I've heard in the biography I read, it said that they got tired and they've been taking pictures all day, and he was just really fed up, so he flipped them off, and then that's the picture that ended up on the back. Nothing fancy. This one followed up. This is how the records come out, and I'll show you. This one came out first, and then of course you got Second Helping, and then this one. Bob Burns left the band, and this is when Artemis Powell joined the band. And that was the third record they did. And then this one here, Give Me Back My Bullets. And then after Give Me Back My Bullets, they went over to the Fox Theater and stayed over a week and recorded and selected songs from that album. This is a double album. One More From the Road. This is when Steve Gaines joined band. He's back there in the picture. He was only in the band for a very short time. He joined in 76. Of course, he was killed in 77. And what's the back of the album? This was recorded at the Fox Theater over in Atlanta, Georgia. Lynyrd Skynyrd, before they blew up and got real big, they played a lot of clubs over in Atlanta. One of them was Finocchio's. I don't even know if it's still there. And that's how they got where Al Cooper seen them and where they got started. This one, next one here is real rare, and it's getting real worn. This album was pulled for the album cover after the plane crash, and it's the only studio album that, to my knowledge, that Steve Gaines played. And the reason they pulled the album cover is because Steve Gaines is engulfed in fire, and they thought after the plane crash that they would make that the main cover. This is the original record from 1977. It's as old as me. It's 47 years old this year. And they've been gone 47 years. Ronnie Van Zant, Steve Gaines, and his sister Cassie. And Dean Kilpatrick, the pilots. That's Alan Collins. Gary Roston passed back in March. Ronnie Van Zant, Steve Gaines, Leon Wilkerson, Artemis Powell, Billy Powell. This was Street Survivors. This was shot on a movie set out there. I believe that's where I heard it. And this was their last record with Ronnie Van Zant. And that was. Now, after, like I said, after the plane crash, this is the only album cover. They went all black, and they done away with this album cover. They was on tour, touring this album when the plane crashed. This album, I believe it came out in August. It's got some wear on it, of course. It's old, man. None of these are repops. All these are original records. Yeah. I actually opened this one up, and I didn't ever know this. I actually opened this one up. What also makes this record pretty rare for me and for Skynyrd fans alike is that I opened it up and it's got the tour schedule on it that they were on touring for this record that they never got to finish. I didn't even know it's inside the sleeves, liner sleeves in there. And I do keep them all in plastic, try to take care of them. But this one, yeah, this one, it's got the tour schedule in it. It's even got a merchandise sheet in there where you can buy the merchandise. I would open it up, but the more I open it, it actually folds out. But the more I open it, the more I can do it. Be careful with it. I do listen to these when I had a needle in my record player, and it's got the original tour schedule in it. Like I said, they never got to finish. It's got the merchandise sheet. That you can buy stuff from Skynyrd. This is original from '77. There's some merchandise they had back then. You can purchase their records. And then it had a tour schedule. Tour of the Survivors, 1977 to 78. Of course, they never got to finish it. It was recorded at Criteria Studios in Miami, Florida. Engineered by Dennis, I can't pronounce his last name. Studio One in Doraville, Georgia. Rodney Mills. And in Muscle Shoals Sound, Muscle Shoals, Alabama, Jimmy Johnson. But that's their tour schedule. And like I said, they obviously never got to finish it because the Tour of the Survivors. This was, they never got past October. Right here was where they was headed when they got killed. They were leaving they left Greenville Memorial Auditorium in Greenville, South Carolina on the 19th. And they were supposed to be going to LSU Assembly Center in Baton Rouge on the 21st. And of course, they got killed and they never made the rest of these shows. This album is, like I said, it's old. It's got a lot. Even when you can find a lot of these old albums, they don't have that information in them. So I was really surprised to find it. This is how you open it up, and it's got some wear on it. I actually took this picture here and got me a Ronnie Van Zant tattoo from this. This is the entire band. Of course, Artemis Pyle up here where my hand is. He's the last member of the band still around. All the honk-heads are gone too. So that's a very rare record. Extremely rare. Still in good shape. Still in extremely good shape. Even got the dust sleeve still in here that you can put the record on in and keep these as well. And these are my Skynyrd records that I want to share with y'all, my viewing audience. It means a lot to me. Like I said, some of y'all might think that's silly, but music to me has always been a big part of my life. And my Uncle Don, y'all have heard me talk about him on this channel before. My Uncle Don got me into Skynyrd. He's only 13 years younger than me. And he got me into Skynyrd. And I started listening to him. And I have all these records, most of these. I got every one of them on cassette, on CD, and on vinyl. This one came out after the crash. This was recorded in, this one was recorded in Muscle Shoals over here in my home state of Alabama. Skynyrd's first and last. Now after the crash and some years after, they just had Skynyrd's first, the complete album. They got a lot more rare tracks on that one. I do have it, but I don't have it with me. It's got to put up in storage. I'm gonna have to get them out, start playing them again. I got Skynyrd's first, and they reissued a lot of these a couple of years ago, and with different bonus tracks, and they made a compilation record with this one that had them all on there. This is the record they went over to Muscle Shoals and recorded. So if you look on here, that's Bob Burns, that's Ronnie Van Zant, Alan Collins, Gary Roston, Ricky Medlock, Leon Wilkerson. Ricky Medlock, that's in the current lineup, did play on this record. He sang sang some tracks on this record. And this is a little who they were when the plane crashed. That band is more famous, more infamous for the crash than really their music. But really, I listen to their music, and this like I said, had all the songs on here from that they recorded over there. Down South Jukin', Preacher's Daughter, White Dove, Was a Right or Wrong, Lend a Helping Hand, Wino, Coming Home, The Seasons, and Things Going On. These are some different versions of the song. Songs on here. If y'all have never heard Wino, listen to Junkie and Wino. This one, like I said, it was released that year after the plane crashed in '78. But I wanted to do this little video and just show you my little tribute to Ronnie Van Zant. Like I said, I never knew the man personally. I was only alive a week before the plane crashed. I was just a kid, just a baby, just born. I was born a week to the day of the plane crash. I was born on October 13th, on a Thursday, and then the next Thursday the plane crash happened out in Galesburg, Mississippi, and near Macomb. They've since, in years past, since then, they went out there and they put up a memorial to not on the actual site where the plane crashed, but adjacent to it. And his mom and daddy's house down there in Jacksonville, Florida, Ronnie's mom and daddy's house, and Johnny's and Donnie's mom and daddy's house, they actually turned it into a bed and breakfast. But I just want to share some of my records with y'all and show y'all some of the records. If I had a record, if we wouldn't get copyright striked, and then my record player still had a needle on it, kids, before there used to be digital music, there used to be, you had to actually go buy a record and put the needle on the record player. I encourage every one of you to go out there and listen to Skynyrd. I try to live my life by the song Simple Man, and I really think the music helped me a whole lot. Like I said, I always considered Ronnie's music was more to me like he was like a brother, like an uncle and a friend, and like a father to me at times. Really, that's the only friend I ever had. They were only around nationally. If you think about it in the scope of things, they were only around nationally for 4 short years. Before then, they'd been together since I think they started in 1966, and they got their first debut record in '73, and they were only around from '73 to '77. They always said Ronnie knew that he was going to die. He said he'll never see 30, and he died at 29. And we're not getting into none of the politics about any of the other stuff that goes along with it and everybody. It's just about the music to me. I don't. Established in 1966. So that's my tribute to Skynyrd and to Ronnie Van Zant. He would have had a birthday coming up on the 15th. And I mentioned that a couple times in this video. And I keep all these records. And, there's first and last. Street Survivors. One More from the Road. This is also a double album. Look here, I'm gonna show you something. That's pretty funny. I thought. Like I said, it's getting old, and they don't come open so easy. This is the inside. If y'all have never seen the inside of One More From the Road. Recorded over there at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, Georgia. They stayed over there for a week, and they recorded all the shows over there. Of course, this was their debut record on Sounds of the South record label. Lynyrd Skynyrd, their debut record. Sweet Home Alabama, their second record. Nothing Fancy, their third. Their fourth, Give Me Back My Bullets. A lot of people get a misconceived notion about this record too. They usually actually get ammunition thrown at them on stage, and they had to quit playing that song for a while. Give Me Back My Bullets is not about bullets. It used to be about on the record charts. They would have a little symbol on there that kind of looked like a bullet, and they'd always used to say that your song was number one with a bullet. If you've listened to AC/DC, they had that number one with a bullet. That's and then that's what Ronnie Van Zant was singing about. He wanted his hit songs back. Give Me Back My Bullets. Man, you can still get this record out there somewhere. I recommend listening to this song, this whole album, man. He's got some really good songs on there. Really, really good. I particularly like Every Mother's Son. I like that one. Got a J.J. Cale song on here. The second, they recorded two J.J. Cale songs, and they recorded Same Old Blues. The other J.J. Cale song they recorded, a lot of people think it's theirs, is Call Me the Breeze. Now, I just wanted to share these with you. Again, that's the Ralston Collins record. They recorded two or three, and he recorded one with just him and his wife. I think it was just called Ralston on CD a couple years before he passed. And then all the compilation records come out. And you had just had all the hits on it. There is a lot of rare tracks. I do kind of wonder though if Ronnie Van Zant would have wanted any of those tracks released, because for some reason they were never released while he was alive. It makes me kind of wonder. If he was still alive, would he have ever released any of those rare songs? They got there's a few on YouTube that's not even been on albums that I've found, or on any CDs. That's called Gator. I believe one of them was called Gator Country, something like that. And then this one here, Golden Platinum. This is one that had all their hits on it. I hope y'all enjoyed my tribute to Ronnie Van Zant and to his band, Lynyrd Skynyrd. And just try to keep the music going. And I've always shared it with my nieces, my nephews, and my sisters. And I appreciate y'all watching. This, like I said, this is my tribute to them. And I hope y'all enjoy it. Y'all ride on, y'all ride safe. And remember, friends and neighbors, it takes no more effort and tying your shoes to be nice to somebody. Go out there and check out some of these songs, man. Leave some comments down below. Ask me what some of my recommendations are. I can tell you that. Some I really like. But Collectibles is a good CD to have, and if you don't have it. And Skinner's first, the Complete Muscle Shoals record, they recorded it over at Muscle Shoals Sound with Jimmy Johnson and Jimmy Hall and those Swampers. We'll holler at y'all later. I sure appreciate you taking your time to watch. And we'll holler at you later, y'all.